Good morning, and thank you for attending this press conference. The Toronto Police Hold-Up Squad needs the public's assistance in identifying and arresting these two low-life thugs that committed this serious robbery at the Super Queen Market on 596 Queen Street West last Tuesday, the 15th of September, at 4 in the morning. There was a 73-year-old lone male working in the premises at that time when he was viciously attacked by these two thugs who went behind the counter and literally continued to beat him for no apparent reason. At the end of the day, they stole some cigarettes and a small amount of cash before fleeing. The 73-year-old victim managed to call 911 and was transported to hospital where he still is. He's received numerous injuries. He's in rough condition. His wife is reported still. Internal bleeding, broken ribs, ruptured spleen, other injuries that he's still going through tests and x-rays. As you can see that by the violence in this act, that the hold-up squad really want to introduce ourselves to these individuals and get them off the streets. These two individuals, if left on the streets, could no doubt kill somebody in such a severe beating as this. So the descriptions that we have right now is what you see in the video because of the victim's state. We have a male white and a male black. Both are well built, probably in the area of 5'10" to 6 feet tall. The clothing is something that we're hoping that somebody will recognize from that area. The male white's wearing a shirt that has God, guns, and money on the back. They're both wearing some type of bandanas on their faces. There's no other robberies in the area, store robberies in the area that we can attribute to these two individuals. But our concern is that if they're going to commit this much violence on a frail 73-year-old man, they'll go to no extremes to do whatever they want or to try and get whatever they want. Any questions?
Were they armed at all in any other way?
There was no weapons seen whatsoever in this robbery. And as you can see, as soon as they entered the store, they immediately went behind the counter and viciously assaulted this male.
Was there anyone inside the store, any other customers inside the store at the time?
No, it was just after 4 o'clock in the morning, and he was a lone male. The victim is a Korean male who speaks Korean. We had to deal with an interpreter at the time of this investigation, and like I said, according to his wife, one of my investigators spoke to her this morning. He's still in the hospital. He's been there now for over a week, which is very rare nowadays, unless you have some very serious injuries.
What did they get away with? I mean,
small amounts of cigarettes and cash. That's it. It's just that.
I mean, clearly they went in with a motive to rob the place. But I mean, is it odd to you that they took such a small amount of cash and some cartons of cigarettes?
Well, that doesn't shock me because that's what happens in a lot of these retail robberies. They don't get a lot of. They get what they can carry. I mean, they're not going to. At 4 o'clock in the morning on Queen Street West, they're not going to be like emptying the store out. They didn't come with a cube van. What shocks me is the amount of violence they put on this victim. This is not normal in a retail store robbery. Normally, the bandits will go in and make a demand for cash and a threatening motive. This is instantaneous violence. Like they immediately went behind the counter, one jumped, one walked, and started to lay a beating on this poor victim.
Do you know if there's anything that the victim did? Did he have a weapon or anything like that to defend himself, or?
Well, you can see the video. The male it's an unprovoked attack by these two thugs, totally unprovoked. He's a frail small man, and they just put the boots and the hands to him immediately.
So he wasn't doing anything like saying, I'll call 911. Nothing, and then they beat him up.
I have nothing to report that he said anything other than what you see in the video.
So to other store owners that are looking at this, they'll think to themselves, well, I have to arm myself, I have to protect myself from something like this from happening to me. What's your word of caution or your word of advice to folks that may run a shop like this and work overnight hours?
Well, we always tell the store owners and everybody to comply. Most bandits, they just want the cash and they're hard up for the money at the time, and they leave with no violence occurring. And so I'm going to tell the store owners the same thing. I mean, at this time in the morning, it's always better to have more than one person in the store working with you. And the other thing is convenience stores, a lot of times, they have their windows cluttered. It's a good thing for crime prevention to ensure your windows are clear from the streets so witnesses can see what's going on in the store, including passing police vehicles. there is steps they can make to protect themselves in their environment where they work. And again, there's some urgency for us to try and get these guys off the street to protect the store owners, to ensure this doesn't happen again. And that's why I'm here. This is a relatively early on in the investigation release of a video, because we want to get these individuals off the street right away, and we're hoping that somebody is going to know these two individuals and to point us in the right direction.
In this case, it seems like the store owner was actually complying, like he had no choice. As soon as the first guy held him, he was being held and not doing much. They could have just robbed the store, but can you kind of talk about the fact that instead of just going for what they wanted, they clearly were intent on causing this man harm?
Well, and that's obvious by the video. It looks like they had two purposes here. One, to inflict harm and pain on the victim, and two, to steal what they could carry on this evening. And the stealing is secondary to the pain inflicted on the victim that we're concerned about, and what they're going to do in the future if we don't get them off the street.
Is there any reason why this store would have been targeted? Is there any reason why the owner would have been targeted, or do you think that this is completely random?
Well, right now we have nothing to point in any direction other than being a completely random robbery by two individuals that have gone way overboard in any act of robbery.
As far as you know, has the store been robbed before?
Not recently that I recall. I mean, we have retail robberies on a regular basis, but I do not recall this store being robbed in recent times. So we're really hoping that if anybody has any information on these individuals, to call Crime Stoppers or the Hold Up Squad at 808-7350.
Anything else in the video after which way they've left, or if they went for the cash? What happens after the...
They leave the store. I don't have a direction of travel for you, and the victim managed to contact the police through 911, and he was located, beaten and bloody at the time. So
This is Queen and where? Queen and whereabouts?
I think it's Queen. Well, I'm not really sure the cross street, but it's Queen West. So 500 block of Queen West, 596 Queen West.
Does the clothing that guy's wearing have any, is it incidental? Does it have any clues there? That t-shirt that guy's wearing?
God's guns and money. Yeah, it speaks for what the actions again that these individuals take. I'm not sure if these individuals are trying to send a message or just trying to be the animals that they are. Basically, it's a disturbing video to watch and to see this amount of violence inflicted on a frail 73-year-old man.
Yeah, like are they sending this guy a message, or maybe other store owners? Like, it would be so easy to rob that store without that violence.
Again, I have to wait till we actually apprehend them to find out what their true motive is here. The motive was definitely robbery. There's items stolen, and we've had individuals, bandits before, go behind counters and put store owners in headlocks, and one of them kind of hold them at bay while the other one empties the cash register. But this is uncalled for, unnecessary, uncalled for, and very disturbing.
Was the camera in plain view, or was that a concealed surveillance camera?
I can't comment on that. I don't even know. I haven't been in the store.
But we don't know. Has the store owner told you any about any verbal exchange? Did he say?
Well, the store owner's still in the hospital. He has been there since the incident. He speaks Korean, so we had to go through an interpreter. But we have no indication through him that there was any type of exchange of anything whatsoever, other than what you see in the video.
And can you tell us a little bit more about the victim? You said that he's got a wife. Does he have children as well, and how's the wife doing?
I don't know about his family status, other than I know that my investigator spoke to his wife, and that's about as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to even tell you which hospital he's in. I just want to give them some privacy right now, and it sounds like he's going through a long-term healing process.
Do you know how long they've run the business?
No, I don't.
Was he the owner of the store, or just an employee?
I believe he was the owner of the store.
Further questions?
All right, thank you very much for the questions, and I'll be around here if you have any further questions after this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes today's conference.